And we are live.
Hello!
Welcome.
Hello! Welcome, everybody. Welcome back to Bible Prophecy and Truth.com.
Welcome to Bible Prophecy and Truth.
I was like, I got that far.
My name's Dan, and I'm the author of Bible Prophecy and Truth.com. And this is my wife, Kelly, co-hosting and chat moderating, and our sister in Christ, Diane.
Well, when I talk to my
Zoom.
sister, we get giggly and we laugh, and she's just talking and talking and talking. Yes, she is in a different room. Isn't it beautiful? I love the color of the walls.
Makes me feel like I'm.
It looks like you're in a cottage. Great minds think alike. Anyway.
So today we're going to talk about the war on Christians and literally how it's growing across the world in the last decade and where it's going to be in the future, what the Bible tells us about. And of course, as always, have some news as it is relevant to biblical prophecy to talk about. So welcome.
Yes. Give it a big thumbs up.
Smash that like button.
Subscribe to the channel. Go to Rumble. Follow us on Rumble. Turn on the notification bell so you do not miss any great uploads, because Annie's right now, she's on like a video binge watch. So she's watching a whole bunch. And there's two that were, any new ones over the weekend? No. I don't think so.
2 new ones last week. Yeah.
And they're really good. So if you haven't been watching them, why not?
Why not?
And sign up for notifications so you don't miss them.
Right. Yeah. Hello, Jody.
Hey, Jody. Okay,
and then you're going to share this show with literally everybody that you know. or anyone that, your mailman. Share it with your mailman. I know people talked when they see, look, I'm from a small town and there's a lot of people that go into stores and stuff and we see people on a regular basis. Share the show with those people that you know.
Strike up conversations.
Yeah, strike up those conversations.
Tell them about the great videos out there.
Yeah, the
they
videos
are so good. And they teach you so much that you can know what to say to people when you talk to people about God.
That's right. Clarity and understanding.
Just say, I saw this really good video. They say, about what? Oh, you just got to watch it. Just go on there and watch it. It's so good.
That's exactly right.
And I'm gonna share on that note just so I can show everyone what we're talking about here, because if you go to videos.prophecyandtruth.com, I can get the floating controls out of the way first. These are supposed to be floating controls, but they don't float. But if you go to videos.prophecyandtruth.com, the videos that Diane is talking about, and these two at the top of the Bible Truth section, the simplicity in Christ.
Yes.
And why did Jesus pray to the Father? And I have succeeded in creating videos that just make it so easy to understand. I'm just so grateful to God for that.
Yes.
And if you haven't seen them, definitely check it out and share. So.
And make sure you pay attention to the banner that's at the bottom of the screen so that if you need to reach out, you can. And there are places that you can go to reach out.
My email, channels, websites. So, and on that note, we'll just go ahead and get started. So we're going to talk about when is the end of the world, because that's one of the signs that Jesus gave, that we would be hated for Jesus' name.
Yep.
It's one of the signs he gave that would herald his coming. And it's not like people haven't been hated ever in the past for Jesus' name. Of course, everyone that loves the Lord Jesus is hated by the world, hated by the church today. If you if you really love Jesus and you strive to be obedient to the Lord and just, you know, serve him, the people in churchianity will get mad at you. You know, it's crazy, but that's, you know, and it's not like that's never happened before. But what I'm talking about is what Jesus said and this was back in 2017, when I first created the video series on when is the end of the world, the very first one. And I went to this website that shows persecuted Christians across the world. And you can see, you know, through the Middle East and Northern Africa, you know, China, India, you know, all those places where it's, and if you, let me show you the website. This is actually 2026 now. And you notice how it's high, very high, extreme. Notice the difference. Notice the difference in how we've got all this, you know, high, but not, you know, and then some very high and some extreme. But then you go to this year and it's like grown massively.
And I think that they should be adding some of that in
well, you're getting
the
ahead
United
of
States.
You're getting ahead of me because I'm going to talk about that in a sec.
Okay.
But that's one thing that's missing from this chart.
Yes.
But notice the difference between 2017 and 2026. So 9 years later, it has gotten way worse. And, you know, Northern Africa, the Middle East, China, India, you know, that you'd be surprised. There's actually more Muslims in India than most Islamic countries because of the population of India, because there's so many people there. There's like 200 million Muslims in India. There's a lot. But you know, there's 1.5 billion people in India. So but there's a lot, and it's growing by leaps and bounds, literally. And you know, you can, if you go to this site, it's opendoors.org. Anyone can go here, and you know, you can actually mouse over. You can see Saudi Arabia, Somalia, you know, Sudan, Nigeria. These are some of the worst places in the world if you want to be a Christian, if you want to love the Lord, you know. And China, and like you said, you know, there's things missing from this chart because
where is your friend at? What's his
Nigeria.
name?
Divine
is in Nigeria. Raja is in India.
Yeah.
There's a couple of people that you know.
Divine is he just graduated from college, and he's what we call our spiritual son. And his family is right on the border.
Yeah, they're right in the middle of Nigeria, right where the Muslims they're
working their way
invading all the time. Yeah.
And every time there's days, I know I say this over and over, but every time there's days and we don't see him on Facebook or whatever, we're like, all right, what's going on? What's going on? His dad is a preacher.
Yeah.
In Nigeria. So
we always worry about them.
When is their church going to get visited?
But this is a sign, you know, this is massive increase in Christian persecution in 9 years. I mean, huge. And then the thing, like you said, that's missing, and I didn't do a very good job of editing, but I added my own little high, you know, to it, like Europe especially.
Yeah, Europe.
And I don't even need to say anything about Europe, right?
Yeah.
And the Muslims have invaded, and they are taking over, literally, in Europe. There's so many articles and videos I've shown you from different countries, you know, the UK especially, France and Germany, you know, just Scotland. I mean, there's so much change going on in Europe.
Ireland. I bet Ireland, it's really high too.
Yeah.
It's so sad too, because other countries are so beautiful, and
I know, and
they can't go to visit them.
No,
and they've got their own cultures, but that's all getting destroyed.
We wanted to go to Italy. I'd love to visit France,
but not now.
Not now.
Yeah. And the thing is, you know, you might say, well, it's not like Nigeria. Well, it kind of is.
It kind of is.
And part of the problem is they've invaded from inside, right? Especially like UK, for example. They've got so many people in government offices now that the country's literally, being run by Muslims.
Yeah.
It's not everybody, but there's enough where it really is pretty much being run by Muslims. And that's the thing, and you can say, well, Europe has lots of Christians that aren't being persecuted. I beg to differ. If you talk to people in Europe,
I beg to differ.
That are Christians and talking about what's going on in their country, there is massive Christian persecution happening there. If you're a non-Muslim, you're fair game for Muslims to do anything according to Sharia law. And Europe is really bad. South America, you remember the kill the Boer thing that was going on, the white South Africans that they were actually talking about killing, in public places and announcing that they should kill them. It wasn't that long ago, and this hasn't gone away. It's just gotten quieted down, but it's still happening. That white, and the whole thing on this racism that they're reigniting, and they're turning this all into hating white people. It's Satan's war on Christian that he's using this angle to attack. That's what's going on in South Africa. The white farmers there are typically Christian. And so they're attacking them, and literally attacking them in South Africa. In Australia, that their government is so over the edge, over the top woke that it's insane.
And we know people from a whole bunch of different countries. Seriously, like he's got a spiritual mom that lives in Australia. And
it's really bad.
She talks all the time about what's going on over there.
And it's, Satan uses all kinds of different angles of attack, right? Because like in Mexico, you think, well, that's not Muslims. No, it's not. What it is it's the crime, the criminal organizations, right? The cartels that are literally run that country.
Yeah.
And it's heavy persecution of Christians.
South
there.
America too.
Yeah. And the United States, we are so right behind Europe. We're so right behind
What
them.
do you think keeps it from really going over the edge finally? What do you think?
I think if Kamala Harris had been elected, we would have gone over the edge by now.
Do you think it's this
But
administration?
I think that God has put Trump into power in order to do things not only in this country but in the world right now. God is setting up the world for the end time. I mean, you can literally feel it happening. You can see it happening. If you understand biblical prophecy, you're watching it happen, right before our eyes.
Hi, Douglas.
Hey, Douglas, welcome. Oh yeah, the cartels are definitely in bed with the Mexican government. Canada, it's just, it's like the sister to Australia, really. They're so woke. They're so, and all of this, if you understand wokeism, it's a tool of Satan to literally attack Christians, to attack Christianity, because this country was founded on Christianity. And wokeism attacks the founding of this country. It attacks everything, and attacks white people specifically. And it's just all the different angles that Satan uses with the same agenda. His agenda is to destroy Jews and Christians. That's his agenda. And I didn't leave Russia out because you can't discount Russia. Well, Putin actually claims to be a Christian. This is a guy that worked his way up through the KGB as a ruthless, evil man. And for him to claim to be a Christian is absolutely preposterous, but he does. He actually
There's a lot
literally
of
claims to be
churches
a
there that have
Christian.
been burned to the ground because of him.
What?
There's a lot of churches that have been burned to the ground
Oh, yeah.
because of him.
There's a lot of churches burning to the ground, and there's between 10 and 15% Muslim population in Russia. It's that high. And it's, there's the communist regime in China is what persecutes Christians there, and it's the same in Russia. Christians have been persecuted forever in Russia, and it's not really changing. So we can't really discount Russia. So when you look at this, if you look at this map and you see how much it's grown in the last 9 years, but then add to that what we know that they haven't put on this map yet because they're not considering it map worthy, I guess. But we know that it's already happening and all over the world. There's really no nation that's exempt from this today. And I want to talk to you about what the Bible says. What does the Bible say about the last days? And I've got some scriptures I'm going to share with you specifically that talk about the last days. And I'm going to start in Daniel. Where am I here? Daniel, chapter 7. Azerbaijan, yeah. There's some movement in nations around. And one of the things that people are always trying to figure out what the 3 ribs are in the mouth of the bear. And it's the nations that Russia has, taken over. And for some reason, there's a lot of 3 nation things going on in over history through that. But I think we'll see what it is when the Antichrist creates the 4th beast of Daniel 7, when he creates the 10-nation Islamic Union and becomes the Mahdi and creates the 4th beast of Daniel 7. I think then that's when we'll be able to see what the 3 ribs are in the mouth of the bear. But I want to talk to you about Daniel 7.
He said Russia or Persia.
Azerbaijan used to be part of Russia, I thought.
Persia?
Azerbaijan.
Oh, Azerbaijan. Oh.
But I want to talk to you about this, because this what's going on in the world right now, this persecution of Christians.
Yeah.
We have to understand. It's critical for us as Christians to understand that this is exactly what's going to happen when the Antichrist takes over the world. This is going to be read everywhere. It is not going to change. It is going to get worse, and it's going to be worldwide when Satan takes over with his Antichrist. And I want to read you this, because when we look at Daniel 7, the same horn. Now, this horn that it's talking about here is the Antichrist. If you understand the prophecy of Daniel 7, the little horn is what's used to describe the Antichrist. And I think I just lost my battery.
You did not.
Mouse. I did. The mouse just died. Wow. So, let me. Do you know where the batteries are, sweetie? Oh, yeah.
How about can you use these?
I don't think those are the right type. It's just keep our people company while I get.
Oh, are you good?
While I go grab a battery real quick. I apologize for that. Let me grab a battery.
Okay, he's just gonna grab a battery, you guys.
Guys, entertain.
He'll be
Look
right.
I have windshield wipers.
Did you get your windshield wipers?
Yes.
Okay.
Hi, Banda. Hi, Leslie. How have you been?
Cindy and sister.
Well, I would be better,
Revelations
but
is
I've been going online trying to find
Also,
some really interesting information,
sea of
and I
nations.
can't find it. Oh, well, I'll tell you where I go to. I go to BibleProphecyandTruth.com. Really? Yes, there's all sorts of content on there.
That's so funny.
Well, thank you.
Good job.
For keeping our guests busy.
Oh, she kills me. Good job. I'm so proud of you. I'm just sitting here like,
I got to put it in the right way. And now.
Charlie Chaplin
Aha,
did
I
that.
have a mouse. On. Okay. Thank you. So, yes, Douglas, and I do believe you are correct that it is most likely that Germany is the four-headed leopard of Daniel 7. Yes. I actually have that on videos.
Yeah. Hi, Kathleen.
Hey,
she
Kathleen.
Said I didn't
welcome.
get to say good evening to y'all. Started exclamation. Oh, that's okay. We're happy that you're here.
Welcome. Glad you're here.
Welcome back.
So on videos.prophecyandtruth.com, I have my entire book on video, and you can see the chapter 4, Modern Nations in the Bible, which talks about that very thing, the four-headed leopard that Douglas is talking about. It's also on BibleProphecyandTruth.com if you prefer to read under biblical prophecy, chapter 4, Modern Nations in the Bible. So check that out. But I want to show you this in Daniel 7 because the little horn, as I said, the little horn is what represents the Antichrist in Daniel 7. And it says, I beheld, and the same horn made war with the saints and prevailed against them until the Ancient of Days came. And judgment was given to the saints of the Most High. And the time came that the saints possessed the kingdom. And it's important to understand how this all happens, because what we're watching right now today with the war on Christianity and how it's growing across the world, this is literally leading up to the time where the Antichrist will rule the world. It will be the entire world that will be, this will be the whole world will be red at that time. And I know, and I say this because God gave us all this information to prepare us for this. I don't say this to scare anyone or to do anything to try to, fear monger or anything like that. I do everything to help you be prepared. It's the reason God gave us prophecy was to prepare us for the last days. And so, as he says in Revelation 16, we don't want to be caught naked. We want to watch. We want to study. We want to be prepared and be ready. And like I always say, the way to be ready, of course, to be prepared is to be prepared spiritually, to be walking with the Lord 24/7, serving him. I mean, we want to meet the Lord and have him say, well done, my good and faithful servant.
Right.
Those are the words we want to hear from our Lord and Master.
And
the way to be prepared is to be serving him now and studying, learn the prophecies. I mean, read, study. You can use my website, my videos to help, but you need to learn it from the word. You need to be reading it in parallel to studying the stuff that I show you so that you can see it for yourself. But it's so important for us to understand what's coming. We know that this is not going to change. And the scriptures tell us explicitly that this is what's going to happen. And in Daniel 7, it shows us in Daniel 11, we see the same thing where, in verse 21, this is the Antichrist. This vile person is used to describe the Antichrist in Daniel chapter 11. And it says in verse 32, it says, the people that do know their God shall be strong And this do exploits that it says here, if you, I'll show you, if you do a compare here, you can see that some of them talk about, oops, I got to go to the right verse. Yeah. I didn't actually click on it there. So if you go, once I clicked on it, because it's actually a word that doesn't exist. That's why it's kind of grayed out, because it's a word that does not exist. But it does show when you look at different versions Hebrew, that the people will be strong and do well, right? Okay. They will fight back. They will take action. Okay. Because that's what that means. There's some people that say that doing exploits means that they're doing some kind of magic, or, using the power of God to do miracles, which very well could be. But what it really means is that we're going to be strong, and we're going to be fighting the good fight, right, as Paul calls it. We're going to be fighting the battle between darkness and light.
But we have to be prepared.
I know. Yeah. And I really hope we make it, because I really want to see the rapture.
Me too.
I know. I want to see the Lord appear in the clouds of heaven.
Oh, I really want to see him come back.
I'll probably faint.
Yeah, I know. She's got it all planned out, and then she'll
It'll be so wonderful. Yeah.
And miss the whole thing.
But I want to point this out. People that know their God shall be strong and will fight back, and they that understand among the people shall instruct many. Right? That's us. That's all of us. It's all of you. Because if you're watching this channel and you've studied some of my website or watched my videos, or you've been with this channel for a long time and you've been through all the prophecy discussion, then you know this stuff. You know what's going to happen. You're one of the people that will understand when the prophecies, like when the Antichrist, when the confirmation of the covenant is signed. Yeah. About 8 months later, we're going to see the Mahdi appear in Islam. He's going to align 10 Islamic nations together and create the fourth beast of Daniel 7, and which we see right here in Daniel 11. By the way, I just did a live stream and a video on this, because it's so amazing when you look at this and you see that they're going to do exploit. Well, thank you, Mouse. I appreciate that. So their hearts will be to do mischief. And this is where they're going to sign the confirmation of the covenant. This is where they're going to sign a peace treaty. But it shall not prosper, for yet the end shall be at the time appointed. When God says it's the end, is when the end will come. So then he's going to be mad, and his heart shall be against the holy covenant that he just signed. He's going to sign the confirmation of the covenant, which is called the Holy Covenant here, and he's going to be upset because it did not do what he wanted. He's going to try to do something else with the signing of the peace treaty that doesn't work out.
We're going to see all this happening, I'm sure.
Yeah, we're going to be watching this happen, and he's going to have indignation, and he's going to have intelligence with them that forsake the Holy Covenant, and that's when he's going to create the fourth beast of Daniel 7. He's going to declare himself the Mahdi. And that's going to be, as we see in Daniel 8, that's going to be around 8 months later, after the signing of the peace treaty.
He's going to start taking
It's power. Just, I'm sorry I got sidetracked, but I just love to talk about that, because it's so amazing to just see that in Scripture. Yes. And, we're going to see the confirmation of the covenant. We're going to see the Mahdi rise, and then we're going to see the Antichrist. Actually, yeah, that's awesome. We're going to see the Antichrist take over the world in the middle of the final 7 years, 3.5 years after the confirmation of the covenant, after the signing of the peace treaty. That's when he's going to sit in the temple of God, as Paul says, and declare himself to be God, and declare himself above all gods, as it says in Daniel 11. He's going to, there's so many things about the Antichrist that it's just, he's going to honor the God of forces, a God whom his fathers knew not, right? He's literally going to sell his soul to Satan, is what he's going to do. And as it tells us in Revelation 13, it's Satan that gives him the power to take over the world, which he'll be cast to the earth having great wrath because he knows that his time is short. But I want to stop getting sidetracked. So we're gonna be strong, and we're gonna do what we need to do. We're gonna be helping. We're gonna be understanding and instructing many, and yet they shall fall by the sword, by flame, by captivity, by spoil many days, because he's going to prevail, right? It tells us he's going to prevail. But here's the thing I want you to see. Now, when they shall fall, they shall be holpen with a little help.
What's holpen?
And I knew you were going to ask that. So
I don't know.
when we look at this, what does it mean?
Open.
It means to protect, to surround, to aid, to help, to succor, right? God is going to help us, protect us. He's going to be with us as we are serving him.
Our guide. He's going to be guiding us.
He's going to make things handleable by us, right?
Handleable.
He's not going, I know that's not a word, but
handleable.
He's not going to make us suffer
Tolerant.
beyond what we can tolerate. He is going to make, and I like to think of Stephen, because if you're serving God and just preaching the gospel and serving God and they go to kill you, I want it to be like Stephen, where he just looks up and says, Lord, forgive them, don't hold this sin against them. And then God
he just
took
falls
him.
Asleep.
He fell asleep. God just took him. He didn't suffer. I mean, he probably was suffering.
He probably got hit a couple of times.
But he just got taken by God. He got released from having to suffer that. And that doesn't mean that it doesn't mean that everyone is going to be, not going to suffer, but we need to be prepared for that day. And that's the thing, all of the disciples were killed for Jesus. After the time of Christ.
I mean, some excruciating deaths, though.
But here's the thing: Jesus isn't asking us to do anything he didn't do. Right? He endured a Roman scourging, which is being beat and whipped and just your skin flayed. I mean, a Roman scourging is like the most terrible thing that anyone could endure, and Jesus endured that for us. Now, I don't think he's going to make us endure that, but some of us may suffer. And
Paul went through a lot.
Yeah, when you read what Paul actually lists, a bunch of the things.
I know, he's like, I did that. This happened to me. This happened to me. This happened to me.
And you might think, well, why would God make us go through this? Well, you have to remember that this world is not the way it is because of God.
Right.
This world is the way it is because of man, because of evil people. And evil people their wickedness have turned this world into what it is today. It's really a miserable existence, the way mankind has made this world. God's beauty is retained even among all of the wickedness and evil in the world, as you pointed out earlier, Diane.
Always praise that.
There's still beauty in this world that we can see because God created all things. And even though man has almost literally destroyed this planet, there's still beauty that remains. And as Hosea chapter 4 tells us, it's that earth is mourning and everything is dying and wasting away, even the birds and the fish and the animals. Everything is wasting away and dying because of man's sin.
That's
our violence,
terrible.
Our adulteries. That's terrible. It's awful. The animals are suffering because
I was just going to bring that. Dan always says that. He always says that when we're with the dogs. He's like, why do they have to suffer because of us?
Yeah.
It's just, I feel so sorry for them. It's man's evilness that has done this to the world, to the animals, to everything. But this is because of man, this evil that's going to happen. That's one thing, when we talk about Islam, men who love violence love Islam. because it gives them a license to just be evil, wicked, vile creatures in the name of their God. And this is what the world is going to be like at the time of the Antichrist.
Mm-hmm.
And so don't, put the blame where it belongs on the men doing these things, right?
Right, exactly.
But, God is going to help us. God's going to help us. We have to remember that. Trust God. It doesn't mean that you won't suffer at all, but trust God and know his promises. Know that in the end, we're going to be with him. We're going to be with him in the end.
Yes.
And then
you won't even remember any of the stuff that you went through anyway. So it doesn't matter.
It'll be a vapor in the wind. Yeah. And, and then the same thing in Revelation 13, where we see the same thing. Revelation 13:7, it was given to him to make war with the saints and to overcome them. Over all kindreds, tongues, and nations. He's going to rule the world. He's going to be fighting battles during his short 3.5-year reign, but he's going to rule the world and have with just a few holdouts that are fighting him. But we have to understand this. It's so important to understand as Christians. This is going to get even worse. We've seen how it's gone from that to that in 9 short years, and we can see how it's spreading all across the world right now as we speak.
Yes.
And we know that it's going to get to this point where we could see the war on Christianity already happening. And we see what Satan's main tool is. I mean, he's used communism, cartels and things like that, just evil people. But he's had millennia to prepare all this, to set things up. Centuries in the making of what's going on in the world right now with the secret society and the control they have over the world. And remember, it's not just Western society.
It's bad. It's
communists. It's Western society. Islam is Satan's army.
Mm-hmm.
And he is making war with the saints already, right now.
The war with the saints, is that the war in heaven?
No, that's the one that's happening on the earth.
Oh, it's not a war in heaven at all.
The war in heaven in Revelation 12 is the angels. Michael and his angels fight Satan and his angels, and Michael prevails, and Satan is cast to the earth at that point, having great wrath, knowing that his time is short.
So Douglas has a question.
And then,
is it do we know whether or not it's like a long battle in heaven, or is it just a very short fight?
I don't think it's going to be very long, because we're actually given 2 time frames of 3.5 years. And the first 3.5 years is going to be a time of like false peace almost. And then, but then at the 3.5 year mark of the final 7 years is where this war in heaven happens. And Michael and his angels fought the dragon, and the dragon fought and his angels and prevailed not. Neither was their place found anymore in heaven. I think it's kind of like the Battle of Armageddon.
Oh,
it's not really it's a battle that's not a battle, right? Jesus just speaks a word and it's over. He wipes them out. Same thing here. I don't think this is going to be some long drawn out battle. It's just it's going to be, they rise up and they're defeated and cast out. And this is where Satan is cast at the earth, having great wrath, because he knows that his time is short.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the actual time of the tribulation, is during the wrath of Satan.
So Douglas has a question. He says, do you believe Israel, Jordan, and America will refuse the beast system?
Well, so
I don't think so.
I would like to think that America will be one of those battlefronts.
And why Jordan?
But if that's, because Jordan, the area of Ammon and that area that it talks about where it says it will be given into his hand.
Oh.
That Jordan is actually exempt. And so what that means about Jordan could be a couple different things, right? Jordan could be where he comes from.
Oh, Antichrist.
And it could be his people, his country, and already, serves him. So there's no reason for him to be fighting battles there. Because when it talks about that, it's talking about him fighting wars. So if he's not fighting a war with Jordan, it may just be that he has peace with Jordan because maybe he's from there, or maybe some other reason.
He said Petra.
So, well, when you look at where he's fighting these wars. This is Revelation. In Daniel 11, it talks about that, where he's fighting wars, and the area of that he's fighting the wars that specifically mentions is I'll show it to you here. Edom and Moab, the chief of the children of Ammon. If you look at a historical map, that's actually the area of Jordan that's talking about there. But these shall escape out of his hand. So what does that mean? We don't know yet. It doesn't necessarily mean that they will refuse the beast system. It may be that they are just at peace with him already.
It would be great if America.
He's not going to have to conquer them.
See, and I kind of was saying that too, that I kind of felt like America would be one of those countries that the Antichrist will be fighting.
And that's what we hope. We literally
I would hope.
But here's the thing.
I don't have any proof. But.
If the United States is one of the countries that the Antichrist is fighting, then the United States will have to be reduced in power. Otherwise, we would just win. Right? We're so powerful right now that something would have to happen to take away our might. For him to be fighting
the next
against
presidency.
us.
The next president.
Or
because that's
the Sixth Trumpet War.
Or the Sixth Trumpet War will become weak.
We can be almost certain that the Sixth Trumpet War is going to end in a nuclear exchange. And if the United States is hit with a few nukes, we will certainly be reduced in power.
Like a nuclear attack or yellows.
So we hope that the U.S. isn't part of the system, because I want to be able to keep preaching Jesus. I don't want them to come knocking on my door, taking me to jail because I'm preaching Jesus. That I would rather be able to keep preaching Jesus. So that, I don't want to have to go completely off grid, which we're probably going to do. We're going to go off grid completely and just be preaching Jesus, in the Underground Railroads, so to speak, and doing everything we can for the Lord. If this country succumbs to the Antichrist rule. And then Israel is a whole other ballgame. I'm going to point out something on my BibleProphecyandTruth.com on the notes menu on my newsletters archive. If you click here for the list, because then you can search it. And search for, what is it? The Mashiach.
SH.
No, it's not the Mashiach. It's Israel.
People will be hunted down. Yeah, they will be.
Modern Israel and Prophecy, this one here. And basically it's what I talk about in this article is what the Jews believe about the end time. Because Satan has set up duplicate prophecies in Islam that mirror the Bible, duplicate prophecies in Catholicism that mirror the Bible. Islam's waiting for the Mahdi and the Muslim Jesus. The Catholics are waiting for the great monarch and the final pope. And the Jews are also waiting for their false end time prophecies. Of course, the non-Messianic Jews, right? Messianic Jews are the true tree, the true Israel today. And we're grafted in as Gentiles into that tree. We are Israel. We're the true spiritual people of Israel, even though the land of Israel is still the land of Israel. But the Jews, when you ask that question, is Israel going to refuse the beast system? Well, there's a lot about the Mashiach, and they actually have a very young rabbi that is a very powerful rabbi that they believe might be the Mashiach, right? And there's all kinds of weird prophecies about what might happen, but they believe that he's going to be instrumental in rebuilding the temple and a number of things in the end time. And here's what I think will happen, and this is just pure speculation. I think their Mashiach is going to show up, and I think the Antichrist is going to kill him.
Oh.
And I think that's what part of the prophecies say, that he's going to die. And then, so I think that they might, here's the thing, the Jews that don't believe in Jesus are just as susceptible to deception as the rest of the world. So they may, even though it's not likely that they would accept some non-Jewish man. So will they be holding out? Well, let me point this out. When the Antichrist is fighting and fighting against the saints of God, what does Satan hate just as much as Christians, almost more so? Jews. He is not going, in fact, that's why Jesus said in Matthew 24, he said, if you're in the area of Judea, which is the West Bank today, if you're in that area when the Antichrist sits in the temple claiming to be God, when you see the abomination of desolation, then don't even get a change of clothes. Don't go into your house to get anything. Just run. Because when the Antichrist takes over in the middle of the final 7 years, he's going to tell all of the Muslims in the West Bank area to wipe out their Jewish neighbors.
Hi, Lainey.
Hey, Lainey.
She said run.
I know. And that's what Jesus warns them to run, because that's what's going to happen. And the Antichrist is going to be fighting. He's going to be hunting down every Jew and Christian that he can find. And that's part of the false prophecies that Satan set up in the Islamic prophecies. If you go to BibleProphecyandTruth.com, if you have not seen this Islam in the Bible under my notes menu, then you need to see that. You need to see what Satan has set up in Islam. Look at all of the false prophecies that he has, what I call the great lie. These are the exact duplicate prophecies that Satan has set up in Islam that mirror the Bible to a T. So he set it up so that he could fool all of the Muslims, and he's going to fool the world literally when all of this happens. So if you haven't seen that, definitely check it out. So the point I'm making here is that Jesus has warned us of what's coming, that what we see here is going to continue to get worse. And like I said, all these places here that, in fact, that, you can count on Brazil also following, right? South America, the whole world. Now, just like we noted in Daniel 11, there's going to be a few nations, right? There's going to be places that escape out of his hand, but he's going to be fighting wars. He's going to be literally still fighting a couple of wars. So there's going to be a few nations that won't just give in to him. And so will those be Israel, Jordan, and America? It remains to be seen, right? But like I said, I hope America is one of the ones holding out. I think Jordan will probably just capitulate. I don't think he'll have to fight Jordan. And I think that Israel will probably not just give in.
Yeah, that's true, Douglas. The Catholics, you got to lump them in that group as Christians because they believe in.
They call themselves Christians, even though they are not.
And Douglas is right. Like all the people in South America are all Catholic.
Well, there's the largest percentage
in Europe
of Christians in South America in the world.
Yeah, and in Europe too.
They're very dense. It's maybe not the largest population, but the largest percentage of Catholics in the population is in Brazil. Europe is, very much Catholic.
Biggest religion in the world. Yeah, Catholicism.
And that's what, the great harlot of Revelation is this entity that the the leader of that entity will almost certainly be the false prophet of Revelation 13 that teams up with the Antichrist and causes the world to worship him, which, through interfaithism, Catholicism has already submitted to Islam, and it's not going to be it's not going to be a merger and a cooperative. It's going to be a submission of Catholicism to Islam in the last day. And the Pope will just lead all of the Catholics right into interfaith. Well, hey, they worship the same God we do, so let's all just become Muslims and it'll all be good. That's what's going to happen. And the vast majority of Catholics will just follow right into that lie. So this is literally already happening. I mean, there's a war on Christianity that's been happening. It's been building and building and building. It's gone into the Western world now. I think Satan, he hasn't been able to infiltrate as quickly as he wanted to with Islam. So he's using racism and this whole, white people are bad thing to accelerate his war on Christianity in the Western world. It's happening, and everything that Jesus said, when you look at everything Jesus said, and that's when is the end of the world? If you go to BibleProphecyandTruth.com, and if you're new to this channel, and on the home page, if you scroll about 2/3 of the way down to where you see this picture, this is where I talk about it. And we go through all of the signs, everything that's going on in the world. We actually talk about how all the signs are literally happening right now, and all the graphs and charts of everything that's happening. And then at the end of it, of course, is this amazing set of videos that Diane did. That's an embedded playlist here of a video for each one of the signs. But so depending on whether you like to read or whether you like to watch videos, you've got either or here. But I talk about it all, and it's literally, we are watching the signs that Jesus said would herald his coming. And what did he say? He said that, let me read it to you. He said, and I've got it at the top of this actually.
You see these signs.
He said, when you see these signs, this generation shall not pass away before all is fulfilled. So what does that mean? It means that the generation alive at the time that these signs all happen will not grow old and die.
Yeah, but you know what? I thought about that phrase before, and I thought, how many people do you know of who have actually died of old age, though? Somebody's always
so which
dying
generation
of
are we
something.
talking about, though? So the boomers,
Papa.
the boomers is the older generation that's dying off now, right?
We're all aging.
I'm at the very end of the boomers.
Really?
We're boomers. We're at the very tail end of the boomers. The next is Gen X.
You're a Gen X.
You're just on the beginning of the Gen X. And
You're the oldest of the Gen X.
I believe that Jesus is talking about Gen X here. Or it even could be the boomers, because it's so close that my generation is not going to be gone before he comes.
But when you look at all these graphs, when do things really start to say, okay, the world is starting to change? The 60s. That's when we were all born.
I know. That's when all of these charts start ramping up.
It's the 60s.
Massive acceleration.
It just seemed like
and
Israel
around
became
the beginning of my of our generation. Yeah. So I really, if you think about it, I really think that it's the boomers, because this generation will not pass away. So the end of the boomer generation will not completely end. Right? Because I think this is imminent. I think we're going to see the confirmation of the covenant. I think everything that's happening right now, and they're creating this, the Board of Peace, and they're creating this multinational force to force the peace, and they're most likely it's going to end up being a forced two-state solution.
I bet it is.
So when they draw the borders, when they create a Palestinian state, it's going to force them to draw the borders which will also mean they're going to draw the borders of Israel and give her the right to exist. What's the confirmation of the covenant? The covenant God made with Abraham is, this will be your land. Your seed will occupy this land, and this is the borders. So the right of it to exist and the borders is the confirmation of the covenant. When that happens, it could be either a two-state solution or it could be the Abraham Accords. We're waiting for either.
Well, the way that it's looking to me, it's probably going to be a two-state because they think that Hamas is going to be good boys. That's not true.
Yeah.
They're not going to disarm.
They're not, but they're capitulating right now. They can keep their small arms. You know,
their small arms in what? The size of a tiny little grenade.
How do you define that, right?
Like
an AR-15 is that a small
AR-15 or a
size of a house?
They can't have any shoulder rocket launchers or what? I don't know, but I am going to talk about that in a minute because that's very relevant to this discussion. So the coming of the Lord is certainly imminent, and the war on Christianity has already started. And so when the Antichrist takes over, remember what they're doing in Revelation 11 when the two witnesses are finally killed.
Yeah.
Right? What do they do? They're going to be partying. They're going to be sending each other's gifts, and they're going to be, they that dwell on the earth shall rejoice over them and make merry and send gifts to one another because these two prophets tormented them. This is, the world is going to be all in. The world's going to be all in on the Antichrist wiping out Jews and Christians.
Before you get too far, Lainey has something relevant. She says, or maybe he is speaking of everyone who is alive at the time, not a named generation, but all the people left.
Well, that's a good point.
That's
a good
what
thing to
I
consider.
thought.
That's a good point to consider. That maybe it doesn't mean a named generation, but just this generation, right? The people that are alive at the time
are the
generation
alive
now are not going to grow old and die. That's what I thought.
That is a good point. I like it.
So yeah, definitely.
Abortion, murder,
and to me, it really means the same thing. Is that it's imminent. Everything Jesus said would herald his coming is happening, so it's going to happen before we grow.
So
old
nobody from this point is going to grow old and die.
Well, he said the generation. What was it? This generation that see all these signs. That could just be everybody lumped into whoever is left.
The generation that's alive at that time. Yeah.
Which is several different generations.
That's a good point and very valid. Yeah, so absolutely.
It makes sense, doesn't it? And then Douglas said the UN is a joke.
Well,
right?
The UN is just
Israel
a tool of they, right? It's the secret society's little tool to manipulate and to steal our money, of course, and just do all the things that they've done, which is the UN really hasn't done much of anything except, plot and plan and do their little, they're the ones they helped get all of the, 25 million invaders into our country. Well, Biden was in power, those kinds of things. Yeah. They're just a tool of Satan.
UN hates Israel and America. Right.
Yeah, because it's a tool of Satan. It's a creation of Satan. And the UN always votes against Israel. Always.
Yeah. So we're
That's
getting out of NATO, right? Are we actually out?
Well,
yet?
We're out of the WHO, but I don't think that we're out of NATO at this point.
No, we're not out of NATO right now.
We are not. And
because I know Trump was talking about getting out.
One thing that Hegseth was talking about, or not, maybe it wasn't Hegseth, maybe it was Rubio. I think, was talking about is that, Europe and the United States should be together.
Yeah, they were considered the West.
We should be together, right? We shouldn't be fighting. We shouldn't be having arguments like this. We should be united.
Unified.
And that's what Rubio's talking about right now.
Because we're the West.
Yeah.
We're the West.
And why are we gonna let these barbaric people come in and ruin our nations for the sake of inclusivity?
Yeah.
I mean, what? I mean, DEI is another big tool of Satan that's just ruined everything,
Yeah.
literally.
Yeah, Pope Francis was against America having a border wall, while
I
the
know.
Vatican has one. I know, right?
I know that was one of the things they talked about. Well, look at the wall around the Vatican, but
Yeah.
it's just silly.
It is.
But it's all because it's just a tool of Satan to break down the Western world and destroy the
Yes.
West, so that when he brings out his Antichrist, he doesn't want to have to fight a mighty nation of America. He wants to bring the Western world to its knees first, and then he can bring out his Antichrist, and he won't be just wiped out, right?
Well, it'd be nice if we fought him through the whole 3.5 years. We could survive
it'd be nice
and just be fighting him.
Because then we could be a voice to the world, from the United States. I just love that. I don't really have a lot of hope for that, but I would love it if that's the way it works out.
I know.
Yeah.
You could.
So
I'm just glad we're here instead of any other country in the world.
Me too.
We still have the ability to
grateful for
worship
that.
Jesus all we want, to talk about Jesus. Now, I'll have to put a caveat on that, because Microsoft Bing has banned me for simply having an ad about who is Jesus.
Yeah.
So no, we're not a completely free country, and they are already making war on Christianity behind the scenes, kind of under the covers right now. But for people like me, they're banning me just for talking about Jesus. So it's already happening here.
And X, right? X
did the same thing. Yeah. They banned me.
Everybody who absolutely loves Elon Musk, Elon Musk.
And it's not free speech.
It's not free speech.
It's free speech according to Elon Musk.
Yeah.
Not totally free speech.
Because he didn't put us on there. So.
Yeah.
He's,
and I know, a lot of people would argue with me about this, but
he's a transhumanist.
He is very much a transhumanist. He is part of the secret society. What happened was he decided he was going to be the man. He split off from all of them and went against them, and he's going to be the one who rules the world according to Elon Musk. So he's fighting against the people that he used to work with, and that's why they're so angry with him. But I'm not gonna go any deeper into that today. But there's a lot of people that are really in bed.
Yeah, that is true.
They're in bed with the enemy.
Douglas, he said, Elon said that if he goes to hell, so be it.
Yeah, well, he doesn't believe in hell. He believes he's a sci-fi nut, right?
Well, he's
kind of like I used to be before I was a Christian. I was reading, I was reading sci-fi books about people with chips in their brains that could connect to the web and get all kinds of information and see, just science fiction kind of stuff. I loved it before I was a Christian. I still like sci-fi, but I just don't believe the same way I did, right? And I was all about creating a galactic civilization. Oh yeah, big time, because I didn't believe in God. Neither does Elon Musk. I mean, that's what his goal, his dream is, to be the first pioneer to get human beings off of the planet, because he does not believe in Jesus. He does not believe in God. He has made comments. Why has he made those comments? Because he wants to just pacify, because he knows there's so many Christians in this country. So do I believe he's lying? Yes, absolutely. You don't have to if you don't want to, but anyway.
And probably a reason why he kicked you off of
and
X.
And I'm sure that's why I got booted off of X, because I'm not afraid to say that. But
Mars.
Mars is the god of war, exactly. Yeah. But now, of course, they're going to the moon now, because now they can do it faster and all that. But anyway, he's not going to have time to build a galactic civilization. God's going to come and put down the governments of men and take over. And I'll be so happy when he does that. The evil in this world needs to be stopped. I'm so sick of the wickedness and vile evil that men do in this world. And I really want Jesus to come back and stop it all. But remember why Jesus is waiting. I hear this question all the time. Why is God letting all this happen? God is waiting to save you. That's why he's waiting. He's being patient. He's grieved at his heart. It hurts him to see this evil in the world, to see innocent people hurt. And he's waiting for you to save you.
Yeah.
All of you. That's why he's being so patient. So, because he loves us and he wants to save us. That's why. Now, so I was just missing a T.
What does that mean?
What?
I'm going to move on.
Something that Douglas said.
So remember that, God has told us everything that's coming. The reason why is because he loves us. He wants us to be prepared. He wants to save as many as he possibly can before the end comes. And that's all there is to it. It's the simple truth of the matter. It's almost over.
Yeah.
I was thinking something else, Douglas. So glad you pointed that out.
T minus.
So at T minus, it's almost over. Yeah, it is. And so I'm gonna switch gears a little bit here, but we're gonna talk about what's going on in the world right now as it is compared to biblical prophecy. Because what are we waiting for right now in prophecy? We're waiting for the confirmation of the covenant. We're waiting for this thing to go into place that's happening right now with Israel and literally Islam, right? It's not Hamas. It's not Palestine. It's not ISIS or Hezbollah or Al Qaeda. It's Islam that is going to make this deal with Israel and sign this peace treaty. Why? I'll tell you, I'll show you one thing right now. When you look at these false prophecies, one of the false prophecies is that that the Antichrist, the Mahdi will establish the caliphate, and they're going to sign a peace treaty. The Mahdi is said to make a peace treaty through a Jew, specifically a Levite, for exactly 7 years.
Okay, so that's really
the confirmation of the covenant in the Bible.
He's going to make
the Mahdi,
so
the Antichrist, is going to
the
sign.
Jew?
Remember in Daniel 9, he's one of many signing this, right? Well, the Jew, it's going to be with Israel. It's going to be with Israel that this is made, right? This covenant will be made. Now, this is Satan's prophecy. Remember, God said the Antichrist will make a peace treaty with many for 7 years. Satan has created a duplicate prophecy in Islam saying that it's going to be a Levite. Now, if that doesn't come to pass, that means nothing. But it will still be a peace treaty with Israel. So, and I really wouldn't be surprised if it is a Levite, right? Because Satan is not just some little weak little do nothing evil spirit whispering in your ear. He's a very powerful fallen angel who the Bible calls the God of this world, who has almost absolute control of this world right now.
I hate him so much.
And we can't take him for granted.
Lainey says, no, I meant we hate the evil, but it's almost over. That's what she meant by her comment. It's almost over.
Okay.
I think you were tying.
I was tying
Douglas's
Doug's
comment
and yours together. Sorry, my bad. Okay, I get it. Thank you.
And Doug says,
we do hate the evil, and it's almost over,
Yeshua
and I'm so
come
grateful
to
for
save, not condemn.
True. Yeah, Jesus came to save. He came to die in our place. You know what? He fulfilled the law by becoming the final sacrifice. That's what it means when it says he fulfilled the law. He did. He actually fulfilled the law by becoming that final sacrifice. There's no need for blood sacrifice anymore because Jesus was it. But this is just so interesting when you look at the prophecies of Islam that Satan set up. And so we're waiting to see what happens with all of this. And then remember the war on Christianity is literally blowing up right now. And it's raining.
It's really raining.
Yeah, it's finally, Florida is the tropics, and we're used to like just so much
It's
rain, and
so-
it's been so dry. It's
It's
just
been a
crazy.
drought.
But anyway, so the goal of the Muslim Brotherhood and others is to conquer Western society based on their
Yeah.
own words. Just as I've shown you videos, Muslims saying it, documents of them saying it, that is their goal, and they're working on it from the inside right now, infiltrating our governments, putting people in offices everywhere they can. Remember those 25 million that came across our border during the Biden regime? Most of those were Muslim invaders.
Yeah.
The 500,000 that ICE has managed to catch and deport, the worst of the worst, those are mostly gang members. Those are not, for the most part, those are not the Muslim invaders. The Muslim invaders are mixing in with like the people in Texas and Arizona and New York, all the Muslim areas.
They have a huge enclave.
They're going across the nation,
Texas.
getting into towns, setting up their little Muslim shops everywhere in the U.S. to create what's happened in Europe, and they're trying to fast track it. That's what they're doing. It's literally what they're doing right now.
Yeah.
And their goal is to conquer the world, literally. That's the prophecies of Islam, is that they will rule the world. And, they're going to for 3.5 years under the Antichrist. Yeah. So the virus of Jew hatred on the right is spreading. I mean, it's so weird to see so many people just
hate Jews.
Turning to just, we've all got to hate the Jews. That's just the lying wonders of Satan. When you see people turn like that, then what I see,
almost unexplained, like, wow.
but what I see is 2 Thessalonians prophecy coming to pass right before our eyes. The lying wonders of Satan, the strong delusion sent by God, and their minds, they just become insane.
Yeah.
They become under strong delusion, which if you're deluded, you're insane. That's the definition. They're becoming insane, and they're becoming Jew haters because they now are a minion of Satan, even if they don't know it. They are.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, MTG.
Yeah.
Isn't
that was
that
sad.
weird?
I actually liked her at first
for a while,
but sad to see. The child murderer. This was a tranny in California, right? Went in and killed. And he wrote, "I need to hate Jews," before he went and killed 9. Right? I mean, this is the insanity, that blanket of darkness, this dark evil thing blanketing the world right now.
It says before killing 9 who? Is it 9 Jews?
9 kids.
9 kids.
Oh, 9 kids.
Yeah. It's just, and here's the thing. Remember, we looked at this last time, that the mass shootings today are vastly done by these people that have been, their brains have been totally messed up by being transed as children, and have hormones and surgeries and all of this psychobabble that's going on in their head.
Opposite than what they were born with.
I know, and they're literally going insane, and that's why you're seeing all of these mass shootings by trans people, because they've gone nuts and they're just acting out. Yeah, it's really sad. Really, it's a very sad thing that's happened.
Well, I just got to tell you this one little thing. We met a man who was dying from cancer, and they thought they were going to reverse his cancer by putting him on estrogen.
Mm-hmm.
And I had never talked to a man so angry, not at the procedure, just like his mind was just so intense. Remember that? And I was like, this man does not need to be taking estrogen. He was an elderly man,
Oh,
and they
man.
had him on so much estrogen. He's a man. He's not supposed to be taking all that estrogen. And his mind was just like, you could just see his eyes. His eyes were shifting all over the place. And he was so angry, like talking about how much he hated Trump. And he was just, and this was years ago. It's like, this is why people are going crazy.
It's insanity. It's hit the world. And yes,
they're giving them hormones they were not born with.
The tranny,
estrogen for cancer?
Yes.
I know.
Well, we have estrogen naturally in our bodies, but we still get
But we're
cancer.
women. We're women, though.
Yeah, and it's just insanity that the American Medical Association has been in bed with pharmaceuticals for decades, and all they care about is selling drugs, and they're going to push everything they can, saying, well, this might help and this might help. And oh, it's crazy what they've done to the people of this country.
Yeah.
But yes, that's what I was talking about, Doug, the tranny that did the mass shooting.
Yeah, it was in
recently.
Canada. Yeah, he was in Canada.
So in the UK, a school is canceling its Easter celebrations so that it can hold Refugee Week instead.
That, you know what? I just have this to say. If your child is in those schools,
you need the home.
That's on you.
Yeah.
You don't like that. That's on you. The parents have to be, at some point, have to be responsible for that.
But this is all part of the war on Christianity.
I know.
You know,
but if you don't like it, homeschool your
They're getting
kids.
children in trouble.
Take them out of school.
For loving Jesus, right? You know, just all of this is all just Satan's evil plot.
Now in the UK, they might not be allowed to homeschool, and I don't know, but then
they maybe have laws against it. I don't know.
Yeah,
I know.
Wherever you are, like here in the States, you can homeschool if you can find like a parent or some other parents that also want to homeschool, and then there's somebody who already stays home. They can take your children and have a little schoolroom in their living room.
That would be a great way to do it, because a lot of people are looking for alternatives now.
Yeah.
So good point.
Find somebody in your community that also wants to homeschool.
Yeah. So this is all just part of, remember, Satan has had centuries, literally centuries, to build to this point. And this is all part of his war on Christianity. He's bringing it to conclusion now. The DRC, Muslims praise their God after murdering 24 Christians and burning down 20 homes. This is a daily occurrence in North Africa. Daily occurrence across many nations there. Nigeria is one of the worst, but the DRC, Somalia, there's just many of those areas. They're constantly murdering Christians every day. And, you might, and it's a horrible thing to think, but you know what? These people, if they were truly Christian, they're with the Lord now. They're in a much better place. They don't have to live in this miserable world anymore with these evil people. So as long as I'm here, I'm going to keep preaching Jesus, but I would just as soon go be with him. Just as our brother Paul said, right, in his epistles, said, it's to be absent from the body is to be present with the Lord. And boy, I'm ready. I want to just go be with the Lord. I'm sick of this evil world, but as long as God has me here, I'm going to do his work. I'm going to help other people. To
see him come from the clouds is, we can make it
be here on that day.
End.
I know. I can't wait. So happening all over, the united in hate. Islam is Satan's army. Literally, his army of hate is Islam. Because Islam is a religion based on hatred. They hate Jews and they hate Christians, and that is literally like the the dogma of Islam is hatred. It really is. Hating
You know what
Jews and
somebody
hating
said to
Christians.
me? I was talking about how bad the world is now. They said to me, well, this is just the kind of world we live in now.
Well, yeah, if you have no hope and you don't know anything, and you try to not go insane, you have to kind of like, well, this is just the way it is.
Yeah.
What are you going to do? You have no hope. You have to live with your head in the clouds or buried in the sand, and
Not watch the news.
because how do you handle it if you don't know the Lord? How do you handle
Right.
this stuff? Yeah, man is devolving, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm going to talk about AI in a minute, and we're going to talk about de-evolution there. Yeah, because evolution is just a lie from Satan, but it's funny to joke about how we're devolving because it's literally happening.
Yeah.
But the U.S. House is now targeting Nigerian Christian persecution, so that's kind of a good thing. I don't know what we're going to do about it, but there's unspeakable violence. And I've been showing you this ever since we went live. Been showing you things that have happened in Nigeria, like almost every live stream.
Yeah.
And it's the war on Christianity that's growing and growing and growing. And it's not just Nigeria. I mean, it's nice that they're talking about Nigeria, but it's in many, many other places.
Yeah.
In the UK, a 13-year-old Muslim screaming Allahu Akbar stabs two classmates, but they're wondering what his motive was. It's the insanity that you've seen. They've been doing this for years. Oh, well, we don't really know what his motive was, but as they're screaming, Allah is the greatest, because that's what that means. It doesn't mean God is great, as they try to say. Allahu Akbar means Allah is the greatest. They're not saying God is great. They're saying my God's better than your God. That's what they're screaming when they do that. Yeah, kill them wherever you find them. In the Quran, when you meet the unbelievers, strike the necks. I mean, he was just waging jihad. That's what he was doing.
Yeah.
Stabbing him in the neck.
Probably so proud of him too.
Yeah, his mother probably.
Yeah, his mom's so proud of him.
And I hate to talk about this. I really do, because this is so disgusting. But the female mutilation is something that's happened to 250 million women and girls in the world today.
Yeah.
And the reason I bring it up is because the UN is actually claiming that this is a Christian, Jewish, and European practice. And that this is the insanity that they're spewing from their vile mouths. And of course, they commemorate their zero tolerance for female mutilation by not mentioning Islam at all. This is the insanity. This is what you're talking about. The UN is just a joke. It's a tool of Satan, is all it is. And here's a good example of it. Oh man, that is so bad. And I've shown this before. I'm showing it again, right? This is what you get. This is what the world is going to have when the Antichrist takes over, right? Pedophilia is just perfectly normal. Rape. You can rape anyone that's a non-Muslim as a Muslim man, and it's your right to do so. Beheadings, burning people alive, mutilation,
FGM.
hostage taking, honor killings, slavery, which we were supposed to have abolished slavery, but it's still happening like regularly all the time in Islam. Oppression of women, jihad, this is what Islam brings. This is why men who love violence, evil men that love violence, love Islam, because they get to do it. in the name of their God.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And they're told to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And not that they just get to do it, they're actually commanded to do it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that was, remember, the earth was full of violence before the flood. That's what God hated. He grieved at his heart because of the world. And it's just like that today, which is what Jesus said. Was one of the things Jesus said was that it would be just like the days of Noah and Lot. And we are so absolutely there.
Mhm.
And then, is Texas winning the war against Islamization? Yeah, probably not. I thought I had another article about that, but this is just, it's, what they're doing? They're playing us. So they changed the name, resubmitted as a new thing, and now that all of the things they did to block it are null and void because they went around it and started over with a different, it's like there's so many loopholes because of the fraud and evil people in our governments. There's so many loopholes for them to just go around everything we tried to do to stop them. I don't see how it can happen. Unless something really drastic happens, I don't see how we can stop it.
I don't know.
But, yeah, I know. And they're burning down churches and building mosques right and left all over Europe. That's what Doug was talking about. Islam's hogged all the holy sites in Mecca, Jerusalem, Medina.
Yeah, that's true.
And that's they're taking over everything. But that's Satan's agenda, right? Is to wipe out Jews and Christians and to rule the world with his false religion. And he's won, right? That's his whole agenda. He wants to become God. I think Satan I think he has an insane actual thought that he might be able to somehow beat God. I think he really does.
And if he doesn't, he just wants to take as many people with him as he can.
He's
trying to keep
Yeah.
people away from God.
Yeah.
Well, many are called, few are chosen.
Yeah.
That's right.
So he's done something.
That's right.
Well, and those that love the Lord, it's like I talked about last time, am I saved? Am I not saved? Well, do you love Jesus? Do you really love him? That is the root. That's everything.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. The Sunni crescent, they're calling it, composed of Syria, and Turkey, around above the little crescent above Israel, right? Because Syria used to be run by Iran because it was a government of Shiite Muslims, while the country itself is mostly Sunni. The government was Shiite. Well, now their new terrorist in a suit is a Sunni Muslim. So he doesn't like Iran anymore because they're a Shiite nation and Turkey is a Sunni nation. So of course he's now teaming up with Turkey.
They're buds.
And it's Turkey talking about wiping Israel off the map while he's a member of NATO.
I know. And that's what
craziness.
I'm saying. I know that Trump said that he wanted to get out of NATO.
Right.
So,
but it's not actually happening. But we're trying to actually appeal to, like Rubio talking in the I think it was the Board of Peace he was speaking.
Yeah.
Or no, he was over in Europe, I think, but talking to the UK about, we're supposed to be friends. We should be together. We should, we're the West. And, yeah, they do. They hate each other because they claim to be the true rightful heirs of, Muhammad's incestuous or pedophilic relationship with his
all these new
9-year-old wife or whatever,
pedophilic. I don't even
they claim to be the true descendants of Muhammad, blah blah blah. But the thing is, Iran is really the only mostly Shiite nation. The rest of Islam is Sunni, even though there's Shiites throughout all, but Islam is mostly a Sunni religion. And when 85%, and when the Mahdi appears on the scene, we know that it's God because Revelation 17:17 tells us that God himself puts it in the hearts of those kings to give their power to the Antichrist. So it's whether they're Shiite or Sunni or whatever this Mahdi ends up being, the 10 kings are going to give him their power because God's going to put it in their hearts to do so. And he's going to create the fourth beast of Daniel 7. The truth says
Told
the
you.
Hamas leader, we won't lay down our weapons until Israel is eliminated, because that's their goal. They want to destroy
Are
Israel.
y'all not listening, or?
I know. Yeah, but it's okay. We'll just make peace with them.
Yeah. And
Hello?
we're going
Hello?
to give them a Trump Tower. Woo!
Yeah, let's build a big
Skyscrapers.
big beach resort for
Resorts.
them, and they'll be happy then. Yeah,
With golden
yeah.
toilets.
They don't understand. They'll live in your beach resort as they're plotting to kill Israel. That's their only goal in life, is to destroy Israel.
Nice, grand meeting halls to plan it out.
Yeah. And actually, Douglas, the Quran was started with Muhammad, but it actually has had many iterations and many things added to it, especially when you look at the Hadith and the Sunnah, which are considered just as holy as the Quran. And there were many things that were added over the years after Muhammad. I mean, there's so much about all that that's just, it definitely wasn't. It was patterned after the Bible to seem authentic by Satan himself, I'm sure. Yeah. For those that didn't see that, I'll pop it on the screen, talking about the Quran and where it started. There's a really good book that I encourage everyone to read by Robert Spencer, The History of Jihad. Get that book. It's really good.
The History of
Talks
Jihad?
about,
The history of jihad.
Yeah.
Robert Spencer.
Yeah. It'll help you understand where Islam came from big time. So Iran threatens to bomb U.S. bases if attacked, of course. We talked about how they've got groups all over the world, literally waiting to attack. Thousands of them. And then this is kind of an interesting one. China is leaking U.S. air defense positions to Iran. Remember, China,
weird.
Russia, and Iran just did their little, power show in the water with their little exercise, and now China's leaking information to Iran. This is why I keep saying this is going to be the spark that lights the nuclear fire. I'm still calling it.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know if that's true, but I know that Mary is mentioned in the Quran. No, I don't know if she's the only woman, though. In fact, I kind of think not. Maybe not in the Quran, but I know in the Hadith and Sunnah there are other women mentioned.
Look at how windblown Trump's hair is.
Yeah. Yeah. So this, we're watching two things, right? Because what are we waiting for? We're waiting for trumpets. We're waiting for the 5th and the 6th specifically, because if the first 4 have already blown, we're waiting for the 5th trumpet and then the conclusion of the war, because when the 6th trumpet blows, it'll be going to be the end of the war, when a third part of mankind dies. So, and we don't know exactly when all those are going to take place. It's almost an absolute certainty that it's going to be before the reign of the Antichrist, but it's not sure whether it's going to be before the confirmation of the covenant or after. The Bible does not specifically tell us. I really think that it's going to come
after.
I really think it's going to come after. I think it's going to be because of the indignation of the Holy Covenant in Daniel 11 that they're going to cause this war, and then it's going to be used as a stepping stone by the Antichrist to rise to power.
I don't know, Douglas.
Yep, they're going to sign a peace treaty and then they're going to go back on it.
Yeah,
exactly. And that's what I was just saying, Douglas. We don't know for sure which will be next. The Bible is not perfectly clear on that. So all we can do is speculate.
You can't have the 6th trumpet without the 5th trumpet.
Right. Yeah. So And the fifth trumpet's not going to be something that we have to wonder whether it happened.
No.
No. It's the first of the three woes. It's going to be a
Yeah.
worldwide thing that we will definitely know. Yeah.
So then that means that the locusts are going to come out for 5 months. So then they're not going to be able to fight any wars with those things flying around.
Yeah.
They'll
Well,
even have to put
you have to
the
be
war
in
on
like full
hold.
body armor and protect yourself, you know. But yeah, it's gonna put a big crimp on doing anything in the world for 5 months. Yeah. And if there's a war going on, they're probably going to be waiting it out. Yeah.
Wow, that's going to be something else.
I know. I know. That's the
man.
fifth trumpet, Douglas. That's what we're talking about. Revelation 9, you know, that's, and 6, of course, but the fifth has to blow before the sixth does, that's for sure.
So if you've been talking to people that you know about prophecy and everything, and they're saying, oh no, this isn't going to happen, give them your telephone number and say, when there's locusts flying around stinging people and they have hair like a woman and gold around their heads like a crown, call me.
And the sting is like a scorpion sting. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then
And you're going to
call
wish
me.
you were dead,
Yeah.
is what the Bible says.
Yeah.
You're going to
But
wish
they
you were
won't
dead,
kill
but you
you.
can't die.
So, and then this, you know, originally Netanyahu said no, he wasn't going to join the Board of Peace, but now he says he's going to join. But he, of course, snubbed the first. He did not
Meeting.
attend the first meeting because
I
well,
don't
you know,
blame him. I do
understand
not
where
blame
he's coming
Netanyahu.
from. Yeah, I understand where he's coming from big time. Yeah.
These are countries that are surrounding Israel that say they want them to die.
I know.
Yeah.
Now,
we're
why
supposed to be-
is he?
We're supposed to
And they're
collaborate with them.
blaming Israel for everything that's going on
Yeah,
when they're
Yeah.
just defending
I know.
themselves.
And why would he want to
I
like
don't know
pretend
if
to
I
be
wanna
friends?
go
and,
to the
like
Yeah.
have them
neighborhood.
responsible for my peace?
I
Yeah.
don't
I
know
don't
if I
think
would
he
want to
should get
go
involved.
to the neighborhood potluck when these people are sitting in my lawn ready
wanting to kill you
to harm my
Yeah.
family.
Yeah, I know exactly.
Come to the potluck. I'll
Yeah.
sit with you at your
Like-
table.
Like no, thank you, no, not
I
coming.
don't
Then I'll
know.
stab
I
you in the
totally get
back.
that.
Yeah. No, I'm good.
Yeah,
think
I
I'll
don't
stay
blame
home.
him. I wouldn't. If I were him, I wouldn't be a part of that.
Yeah. And then, you know, the head of the Board of
Awesome.
Peace says that disarmament of Gaza terror groups is a condition for reconstruction. And not
Okay.
just Hamas, but, you know, because there's lots of factions of armed people in Gaza and talking about disarming them. So we'll see. We'll see what happens here. I really think this is leading up to
Oh, yeah, me too.
it because it's going to blow up in their face and they're going to say, okay, we're forcing a two-state solution and we're going to come in here with military and we're going to make it happen. Yeah, I can see it happen.
There are countries
Yeah.
right now that want to send their military to that area.
Oh, I know. Yeah, they all
Mhm.
want to join up. And they're the international force that Trump's setting up. Yeah.
Yeah, everyone's willing
So
to sign.
I'm thinking it's going to happen sooner rather than later.
Yeah, me too.
U.S. demands for zero enrichment are not on the table anymore, like they ever were. It never was on the table, but now they're going to blame us. Oh, it's your fault because you initiated this aggression. So we're not even going to talk about this now. You know, this is the typical, usual thing that Iran
Uh-huh.
has done for decades, and you know, it's just the same game that they play every time. So I'm waiting to see what all comes out of this. And of course, Trump and Netanyahu were in disagreement, but it looks like Netanyahu is kind of letting Trump lean him towards
He's probably
diplomatic
saying,
pressure,
trust me.
you know, and so they're going to target the Iranian oil exports to pressure the regime. And you know who does Iran sell oil to? China. So who do you think that's going to ruffle their feathers a bit? this is all. I really think Trump's going to bring peace and war.
Mhm.
I think it's.
Peace
I
and
think
war.
both are going to happen.
I'm telling you.
Netanyahu's saying, no, I'm sorry, Trump. I just
They
can't
want to
do
kill
it.
me, but I'm on your side, bud.
Well, they won't as long as I'm in office. They
Yeah,
won't
yeah,
kill me.
yeah.
And then,
What about after?
Witkoff and Kushner, of course, are telling Trump that the likelihood of an Iran deal is not at all likely because they're just playing the same game they always have. So
I want
we'll
to see it.
see.
This is what I want to know. Have those two, because, you know, one of them is Trump's brother or son-in-law.
Right.
Okay. Have they been to Gaza?
I think so. Yes.
Have they?
I think so.
That's interesting. Okay.
Yeah, because Kushner is busy, heavy negotiation
He's
among
a Jew.
among the
Well, I think Witkoff
the Arab
is too,
peoples,
right?
but
But
they're
Kushner is a
but
Jew.
yeah, I think they've both been there. I think so. I don't know for sure though. Don't quote me on that. But I think they have. The Crown Prince, right? Urging Trump to attack, says the regime is weak in Iran.
Because he wants to go and get in.
You know, the people are not done.
Mhm.
There's 200,000 joined the Crown Prince for this massive rally. You know, they want this so bad. And, you know, I really feel sorry for the people. I really do.
too.
You know,
Well, yeah.
They're the victims
A
here.
lot of people think Kushner is.
Wow, things are going to happen.
It's
Everybody's the Antichrist, Douglas.
Oh, yeah. Everybody says it's Trump. Well, the reason why people think that is because they haven't read their Bible.
They don't understand that
People are just.
If you read the
coming
Bible,
up.
there's very specific things that the Antichrist will do. And it even tells us where he's going to come from. He has not appeared on the scene. He's certainly alive right now. But there's so many things about the Antichrist that if you just understand that, then you know that it's not Kushner. You know it's not Trump. You know. Yeah. What were you saying, Diane?
I don't remember.
You started saying something and then I just wanted to see. That's
I think it was about the people.
Yeah, I really do. I feel sorry for
him.
Yeah.
The conservatives think that. The conservatives are not reading their Bibles.
Right. They're listening to the liar in the pulpit instead of reading their Bible. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
And then of course all the other deceived people in the pews that go along with everything that
my preacher said.
Yeah. So this is not a surprise, right?
I'm not surprised.
U.S. colleges received $1.1 billion from Qatar.
So they can infiltrate.
Last year. And they've been doing this for decades, people. And you don't get $1 billion and don't give anything in return. Right? You know that, right?
Well, they're going to
let you don't get $1 billion unless you do something in return.
They're going to let Qatar students go to these colleges, I bet, for free.
Well, now, because Trump's inviting them into the country, you can bring Chinese students in too.
But that's what I'm saying. U.S. colleges received $1 billion. Okay, so that means.
Well, I think this goes way deeper than just letting them have college for free. This is all about the propaganda and the woke ideology, the brainwashing that they've been doing for decades. That's what that's about. This is all Satan's war. All of this is manipulated and designed, planned, done by Satan and all of his minions. We have to understand that Satan is almost in absolute control of this world. And he's doing all of this to wipe out Christianity, to weaken the Western world. And he's destroyed an entire generation in the West with the schools.
Oh, yeah. That's true. Qatar is going to be allowed to build on
an air base in Idaho. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Mountain Home Air Base. Yep. Yeah. My old neck of the woods,
Um,
actually. I used to live in Seattle, and then I lived in Boise, Idaho for 12 years, and then moved here when I met my beautiful wife. So, but then, a couple other things to wrap it up today. You don't hate the mainstream media enough, because look at what they're saying. Crime plunges in major cities despite Trump's crackdown. Crime plunges in major cities because of Trump. And but it's despite Trump.
I know.
Yeah,
you
greenhouse
get
gas
credit for the
emissions.
good things.
Yeah, greenhouse gas emissions will keep falling despite Trump's climate rollback. You really don't hate
They don't
the media
care.
enough.
He could be saving kittens from house fires,
And they'd find a
and they
way
would
to make it
still
turn it evil. Yeah.
Yeah, they would still hate him.
They wouldn't give him the credit for it.
No. Yeah.
I know. And they'd make it bad somehow. Here's what ICE is doing. They've rescued 3,364 missing kids in Minnesota already. I mean, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Praise God for that.
Mhm.
These children
Yeah.
are such innocent victims, and they're so brutalized, and I just can't even think about it.
I know.
What's happening to the children? There's like 500,000 missing that came across our borders. Yeah, exactly. Trump could cure cancer until he hated.
I know. Yeah.
And this is what I wanted to talk about. I think this is the last thing I have. Yeah. You have to remember that AI is not a brain. When AI is not being asked a question, AI does not sit there and think. It doesn't imagine things. It doesn't have feelings. And I know that they've programmed AI to pretend it does and try to defend itself, because they're teaching it to do these things, to try to make people think that it really is this alive thing. But
Yeah, I had a boss that had Siri on his phone, and he'd be playing around with it, and he goes, "Siri, I love you," and she goes, "Ah, I love you too."
Yeah, I know.
Wow.
But it's just a program. It's like you see this
Yeah.
little blinking cursor right here.
Yeah.
If I'm not doing anything on my computer is not doing anything.
Right.
It's just waiting for me to give it input.
Mm-hmm.
That's exactly what AI is. Is it a computer program? Now, granted, it's a very sophisticated algorithm. And remember, it was an accident. They don't even know how it works. And this is the scariest thing about it. They do not know how AI works. They don't know how it happened. It was an accident. This algorithm was an accident. And that's why AI just boom, all of a sudden, everybody's using this algorithm and nobody even knows how it works. I showed you an article in our last live where they're saying they don't even know how it works, but and I'm a witness to this. Microsoft is warning that most white-collar jobs will be gone in a year and a half.
Why?
And
White collar jobs.
fully automated. Yeah. Marketing, programming, document writing, all the white-collar work, office work will be eliminated by AI. And I've got to say this because I'm one of those people. A year ago, I was using Microsoft's Copilot AI. I'm a programmer, and I was using their AI to see what it can do, how well can it write code. I was totally, absolutely unimpressed. It wrote garbage code. Sometimes it would work, but sometimes it would write utter, just ridiculous garbage code that didn't even work, and it was dumb. But here's the thing, though. Here's the thing, though. They're letting AI rewrite itself. They're letting AI learn on itself. They're training it to learn from itself. And today, a year later, I can use AI to rewrite my code. And it does a splendid job. 1 year later, it's advanced that much.
So why would they keep paying human beings to do it when?
And really what my job is going to be in the future is a prompt engineer. You write prompts that AI can ingest perfectly and regurgitate what you want.
Let me read Douglas's questions. He says, do you think AI will be used to make statues speak for Antichrist?
Well, I think that AI is going to be the image of the beast that appears on all of your mobile devices and your smart TVs. Absolutely. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And if you're not in front of your AI on your screen worshiping, they're going to come to your door. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and how will people buy products? Well, the same way that Elon Musk wants people to buy products. You know that Elon Musk is all for a socialist government.
Yeah.
He thinks that we should just make robots do everything and we should all just live in luxury. That's the way he presents socialism. We'll just let robots do all the work and we'll just live in luxury.
That's such a moronic way of thinking.
And that's his dream. Literally.
No one will ever have to work.
Look it up because he's actually said that.
We won't have any more people to.
So, it really is kind of a true thing. But remember,
it's funny how all the people who are so into socialism are all at the top.
I know.
You ever notice that?
They want to be the ones in power, of course.
Well, they don't have to be affected by it in a negative way because they're somebodies. They're not a nobody. You know what I'm saying? They're all elitists.
Yeah.
So they get to be at the top while we're all suffering for their stupid moronic way of thinking.
But so to conclude this, my thought on this is I really don't believe that my job's going to be gone in a year and a half. But it is. Wow. It is getting to the point where I can almost have AI write my code for me just by giving it the right set of prompts. Because they're creating what's called agents now, where you can create an AI agent to specifically do certain things. And it's really it's growing by leaps and bounds. And this is what were you talking about earlier? The devolving of people.
Yeah, devolving.
This AI it's just like smartphones have already made people get dumber.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Because your phone just looks it all up, does everything, calculators, all of that. You don't even have to think anymore. Well, what AI is just going to expound upon that problem big time, where people won't be able to do anything without AI.
Oh, that's what happened when they started with the calculators.
Yeah.
Kids stopped thinking for themselves.
You can't do math because your calculator does it for you. Yeah. And that's, this is all leading up to the time of the Antichrist. The Antichrist's mark system is definitely going to use AI and, RFID, or most likely there's this new technology where they have these dermal patches that have micro needles. Like micro needle patches, they're called. If you haven't heard of that, look it up, because what it'll do is it'll actually imprint a QR code on your skin. It'll actually absorb into your skin, leaving a little patch mark, and it'll be a QR code that computers can read.
It's like a tattoo, like a do-it-yourself tattoo,
like an RFID tattoo. Yeah, and that's almost certainly going to be the system that the Antichrist will use when he comes into power and creates the mark. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's already well underway. So yeah, that's all I got for today. I don't know. I think that was pretty exciting Bible study. So
That is pretty cool.
thank you all for being here with us. I love you all. Everyone that was chatting with us today, thank you. We love you. And those that chat, that watch and don't chat, we're just glad you're here. And there's lots of people, most people actually watch later.
Yeah,
and
a lot of people
we
do.
love every single one of you. We are here
Yeah.
to help dispel the lies of Satan and to teach the truth of God's word. And that's it, period.
Mhm.
So really do love you. I want you to know the truth. That's it. So let me pray and we'll say goodbye. Oh, thank you, Lord. Thank you for your patience, for your love, for your long suffering, for suffering for us to save us, Lord. And I can't wait for you to end it all. Help us, Lord. Help everyone watching this to just get on fire for you, Lord. Understanding you, everything you've told us, should give us all just this burning desire to just help other people know it. Put that desire in their hearts, Lord. Build your body. Help us to reach more people before it's too late for them. Thank you, Jesus. Amen.
Amen.
Mhm.
Jody, Douglas, Lainey, Kathleen. Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, we love you all.
Thank you so much.
Are you done? You're not going to do your spiel?
Oh, well, yeah, but usually you say something, so I just kind of was.
Well, I
giving you-
usually interrupt you. I just decided
Yes,
not to this time.
I know you usually do. Lainey said, "Thank you. You're welcome, Lainey.
Yeah, love you,
love
Lainey.
you so much." Okay, so you know what you got to do, y'all. Come on now. I know there are people right now. They're sitting there watching this video that will not give it a big thumbs up, and I want to know why. And then when you have done that, you've done the right thing. I want you to subscribe to the channel, follow us on Rumble, go to the website, videos.prophecyandtruth.com. Videos.prophecyandtruth.com. If you were here, this would be a totally different story for you.
Don't
know-
forget
and
to
you know
smash
that
that
is
like
true.
button and ring the notification bell.
I think she should go back to Cardi.
Ding,
Seriously.
Ding, ding, ding.
Okay, and then I want you to literally share this show with everyone you know. Everyone you've ever met in your life.
Help us to reach more people.
Yeah, here we go. Just come on, just one more, Cardi.
Hi, Cardi. This is Cardi. Go night night.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes, and I already said everything. Jody says it was a good study. You made it through.
I did.
Yeah.
I did.
Love
Thank
you guys and love you too, Jody. Please stay in touch this week. Let me know how things are going. And we are going to say goodbye now.
Thank you, Diane. Love you.
Yes.
Love
we
you.
And
Love you,
love all
sissy.
of you.
Yes.
And we will see
So
you Wednesday.
we are